sorry. It's just Kara's last name.
You didn't read all of Kara's student file and thought that my ex-husband and I were still together. Look, you're not the only one. I just always correct people.
Well, I completely understand, and I do apologize. I just... Shall we sit?
So, what did my little firecracker do now?
You've had these types of meetings before, I take it.
You really haven't read Kara's file, have you?
Regrettably, with me only starting the job a few weeks ago, I haven't gotten around to it.
Let's just say that each of Kara's previous principals and I have had a meeting.
I see. So you probably weren't surprised when I called you.
Honestly, I'm surprised it took you this long. The last time Kara got a new principal, they were calling me at 9 a.m. on the first day. I love my girl's determination and the spice she brings to life, but boy, she wear me out sometimes.
She certainly brought us some spice today.
Well, lay it on me.
Okay, so the first thing is that during English language arts this morning, Kara refused to participate in a discussion regarding the short story the class read.
And you called me about that. Wow, the threshold for behavior has certainly gone down.
The thing is, not only did Kara refuse to discuss the literary elements of the story, she actively argued with her teacher about why the story should not be read in class.
Gotcha. And what were her reasons?
Apparently, the story revolved around a young boy who was ridiculed by peers for participating in activities that can be seen as feminine. The other boys in the story referred to the young boy as a sissy. Kara was very adamant that that's not a message our staff should be sending students.
To be honest, I don't necessarily disagree with her. I mean, obviously she shouldn't be arguing with her teachers, but I see her point. I'm sure there are other short stories in the world the class could read that don't perpetuate bullying on the grounds of personal expression. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I said something funny?
Perpetuate bullying on the grounds of personal expression. Those were the exact words her teacher said Kara used in her argument.
Well, I'll admit that some of my values have certainly rubbed off on my girl, but I'm sorry, we got a bit off track. You said arguing with her English teacher was only the first thing.
Right. So, during art, Kara wrote "fuck authority" in her sketchbook instead of completing the assignment.
Oh, I'm sure she didn't mean.
On the next page, she wrote, "Yes, Mrs. Tompkins, that means you." And there's one more page I need to show you.
My mom will kick your ass, bitch. Great. I take it that's why I saw the school security officer on my way in.
I did ask him to be on standby, just in case.
Well, I hope I haven't done anything to warrant his involvement.
Oh, no, ma'am, no, not at all. But there is one more thing.
Oh, cranky.
During lunch today, a classmate of Horace who identifies as genderqueer but presents as male was being teased by other students.
And let me guess, they were calling you a sissy.
Actually, yes.
Seems like Kara had a point in her English class.
Eventually, one of the other students shoved the genderqueer student to the ground and
Kara got involved.
she pushed two other students to the ground and punched the final one in the face.
Good for her.
Ms. Brookley, I am sorry, but I do have to tell you that as a school, we cannot stand for that behavior. We have a strict no tolerance policy on physical violence, and I'm going to have to suspend Kara for 3 days.
Suspend Kara? She was the only one helping a student who was being physically abused.
The other students are being dealt with as well, ma'am, but I do have to follow policy and be fair here.
Fair? What part of all this is fair? For starters, you're telling me that my girl was expressing an opinion in her class and you were told about it. I mean, I know Kara can be fiery with her words, but she still has a right to say what she wants. And she wasn't wrong. Obviously, the students who were bullying the genderqueer students at lunch took a play from that short story.
Well, I don't...
They literally used the same insult. And even with that damn sketchbook, I know she probably shouldn't be
2 students and punched another in the face.
Because they were bullying another student and your staff did nothing about it. I know Kara can be a lot to handle, believe me, I get it. But I have raised her to accept those around her and to stand up for those who are being oppressed. I've taught her to be a friend to those in need, and I've taught her not to let others tell her how to think.
Miss Brookley, have you ever considered getting Kara into counseling?
What the fuck?
I just mean with her use of profanity and propensity for violence that were demonstrated today.
Propensity for violence? Lady, you're off your rocker. Kara has never laid a finger on another student unless there wasn't some other way to resolve the issue. And since you're so hung up on the damn language in some sketchbook, let me fill you in on where she learned that. Kara's dad was a mean-ass drunk, and until I left his ass 3 years ago, he'd get drunk and verbally and physically abuse me in front of Kara. So for your fucking information, yes, Kara is in counseling. Yes, she learned the profanity from me and her father, and the reason she knows that I could beat your ass is because of the dozens of times she saw me fight off. I have taught her to never let someone tell her that because she's the girl she's weak, and to never let someone else hurt her.
Miss Brookley, I am sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was out of line.
You were fighting for your girl. We mama bears are no joke.
Damn straight. So you have kids too?
Twin girls, Kara's age, actually. I used to teach at our neighborhood junior high school, but they made me swear that when they got to junior high, I would transfer at least 1 district away.
That sounds like something Kara would do.
The more I think about Kara, I think our girls could be good friends. Especially my daughter, Nevaeh.
Why's that?
Until 2 years ago, Nevaeh was my son, Nate.
Holy shit. So are they gender queer or are they trans?
They're trans.
And you allowed them to transition 2 years ago?
5th grade.
Oh, that's amazing. A lot of parents wouldn't have been okay with that.
We didn't really have a choice. I mean, she was so miserable. We got her into counseling to make sure it wasn't just a whim or something, and her counselor helped us realize that it was real. And the depression she was experiencing was real too. Now, obviously, she's still young for hormone therapy and will be an adult and make her own decisions regarding gender affirmation surgery. But we have supported her with allowing her to transition and to start taking hormone blockers.
Judging by how our conversation started, I would have never guessed all that. Thanks for sharing it with me.
Felt like I needed to. I can tell that you're a parent and that if Kara ever expressed the desire to identify anywhere in the LGBTQIA+ community, you'd be behind her.
100%.
And between you and me, I don't disagree with Kara on where she was coming from with her actions today. I read the short story, and after everything at lunch, I am going to make sure that it isn't used again. And as far as the physical violence, I'd be lying if I wasn't at least a little proud of Kara for standing up to the other students. I do have to follow policy though, and so even though I may not agree with it, I do have to uphold the 3-day suspension for Kara.
Thank you.
I beg your pardon.
I get that you have to uphold your policy. And thank you for seeing as how it's Thursday and Kara won't come back until Wednesday. I think I'm going to take some time off work and take a little trip with my girl. Of course, we'll have the conversation about controlling our anger, and I will make sure her counselor is aware of everything. But I want her to know how proud I am of the girl that she is becoming.
I completely understand.
Well, you should be proud of those girls of yours too. You're a badass mom, Mrs. Tompkins, with a couple of great daughters, it sounds like.
I think we both certainly